Hi, greetings, true believers. While we look at Phase 4 of the MCU, now continues on with Eternals. In 5000 BC, 10 superpowered Eternals, Ajax, Circe, Icarus, Kingo, Sprite, Phastos, Makkari, Druk, Gilgamesh, and Athena, are sent by the celestial Arishem to Earth on their starship, the Domo, to exterminate the invasive deviants. The last deviants are apparently killed in 1521, and the group's opinions differ over their continued relationship with humankind. Over the next 500 years, they mostly live apart, waiting for Arishem's orders. In the present day, Circe and Sprite live together in London. After Circe's partner Icarus left her centuries earlier, she is now in a relationship with human Dane Whitman, who works at the Natural History Museum. When the trio are attacked by the deviant Crow, Icarus arrives and chases the creature away. The three Eternals travel to South Dakota to reunite with their leader Ajax, only to find her dead. Circe is posthumously chosen by Ajax as her successor, granting her the ability to communicate with Arishem. Circe learns that the mission of the Eternals was actually to prepare Earth for the emergence. Arishem explains that, for millions of years, he has been planting the seeds of celestials inside planets where the energy for large populations allowed new celestials to be born. The deviants were sent to destroy the apex predators of each planet to ensure the development of intelligent life. But when the deviants evolved and began hunting the planet's native populations, Arishem created the Eternals to counter them. With the reversal of the blip, Earth has reached the necessary population for the birth of the celestial Tiamat, which will result in Earth's destruction. Hoping to delay the emergence, the Eternals reconvene. At Druk's residence in the Amazon rainforest, they are attacked by the deviants. They kill all except for Crow, who kills Gilgamesh before fleeing. Phastos proposes the Unimind, a connection between all the Eternals that would give Druk enough power to put Tiamat to sleep with his mind control powers. However, Icarus reveals that Ajax told him of the emergence centuries before. When Ajax told him she wishes to stop the emergence, he led her to the deviants who killed her. Sprite joins Icarus due to her unrequited love for him, while Kingo chooses to leave. Makkari locates the place of the emergence, an active volcano in the Indian Ocean, where Icarus and Sprite attempt to stop them. Druk knocks out Sprite, and Phastos restrains Icarus. Crow arrives and is killed by Athena. Druk is able to put Tiamat to sleep, and Circe instead attempts to turn him into marble. Icarus breaks free of his restraints and goes to kill Circe, but finds himself unable due to his love for her. Both he and Sprite join with the others in the Unimind, and Circe gains enough power to turn Tiamat into marble. Guilt-ridden, Icarus flies to the sun. At Sprite's request, Circe uses the remaining energy from the Unimind to turn Sprite into a human, ending her permanent childlike state. Athena, Druk, and Makkari depart on the Domo to find Eternals on other planets and warn them of the emergences, while Circe, Phastos, and Kingo remain on Earth. Whitman professes love for Circe and is about to reveal a secret about his family history when she, Phastos, and Kingo are lifted into space by Arishem. Displeased with their treason, Arishem says he will spare humanity if the Eternals' memories show that humans are worthy of living. Vowing to return for judgment, he takes the trio with them into a singularity. In a mid-credit scene, Athena, Makkari, and Druk meet the Eternal Eros, Thanos' brother, and his assistant Pip the Troll, who offer their help. In a post-credit scene, Whitman opens the case containing the ebony blade, and an unseen person questions whether he is ready for it. Dun dun dun! So let's take a look at the production of this film, beginning with the development. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige said in April 2018 that the studio was actively developing a film based on the Marvel Comics series Eternals, created by Jack Kirby, to be released as part of their Phase 4 slate of films. Marvel Studios had met with multiple screenwriters and was believed to be focusing on the character Circe in the film. Marvel said Ryan and Kaz Furbo to write the script a month later, with their outline including a love story between the characters Circe and Icarus. In June, Feige said Marvel was interested in exploring the ancient aliens kind of sci-fi trope by having the Eternals be the inspiration for myths and legends throughout the history of the MCU, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU, but yeah. During late August, Marvel's director search for Eternals narrowed to a shortlist that included Chloe Zhao, who had also been in the running to direct Marvel's Black Widow, Nicole Castle, Travis Knight, and the pair of Christina Gallego and Cyril Guerrera. Zhao approached Marvel Studios about making the film as she had been a fan of the MCU. She wanted to work with the studio to bring her own take and world building to the franchise, and impressed with a presentation that Feige described as fascinating with reams of visuals. Zhao worked with producer Nate Moore to develop her pitch. The presentation led Marvel concerned that she might take on a different big studio project instead of Eternals, forcing them to move quickly to secure her, and Zhao was hired as director in September. Zhao hoped to push the scope of the film further than Marvel's Avengers Endgame, but also wanted to have intimacy. Zhao described the film as a melting pot of influences from Kirby's original work, Endgame's 2006 run, previous MCU projects, Zhao's fandom of the MCU, and love of science fiction and fantasy films and manga. Speaking specifically to her love of manga, she hoped those influences would create a marriage of East and West. Zhao cited the TV series Ancient Aliens, the Final Fantasy video game series, the concepts from Yuval Noah Harari's book Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, and the films of Terrence Malick as her inspirations for the film. Marvel considered Eternals to be a perfect transition to its next phase of films, along with such projects as Captain Marvel, allowing the studio to create a diverse group of cast a diverse group of actors to portray the various Eternals. Morris' initial plan documents for the project included the swapping of genders, sexualities, and ethnicities of some characters from the comic books, with Zhao further advocating for this approach. In February 2019, Feige reiterated that Marvel was interested in the Eternals due to Kirby's epic century-spanning story, with the film version spanning 7,000 years and exploring humanity's place in the cosmos. Zhao noted that the Eternals have lived for so long they have assumed struggles like identity, purpose, faith, personal freedom versus greater good, all the duality and flaws that make us human. When trying to develop a story that spans so many years, Marvel realized that the characters would be likely be a family unit, with friendship that would turn into frenemies, and then turn to enemies, and then come back to friendship. Zhao also looked to the Earth as an 11th character in the film, chronicling its journey alongside the Eternal characters. Marvel wanted to create more ensemble films that were not crossover films like Guardians of the Galaxy, introducing relatively unknown characters to audiences as they did with that film's title characters and the Avengers. And now on to the pre-production. Angelina Jolie joined the cast in March 2019, reportedly as Cersei, with Kumail Nanjiani and Don Lee cast in those roles the next month. At that time, the film was expected to feature Marvel Studios' first gay superhero. In May, Richard Madden entered negotiations for Icarus, and Salma Hayek had entered early negotiations for an undisclosed role the following month. In July, Variety reported the cast included Jolie, Madden, and Millie Bobby Brown, but Brown denied that she had been cast. At the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con, Feige officially announced the Eternals with a release date of November 6, 2020. He officially announced the casting of Jolie as Athena, Nanjiani as Congo, Lee as Gilgamesh, Madden as Icarus, and Hayek as Ajak, along with Lauren Ridloff as Makari, Brian Tyree Henry as Phastos, Aaliyah McHugh as Sprite. Zhao looked for actors for each role that could find a bit of themselves in their character. Feige added that one of these actors was portraying an LGBTQ character, with actor Haz Sleeman later revealing that Phastos is depicted as gay in the film. Sleeman portrays the character's husband, and the pair have a child in the film. Sleeman felt it was important to depict how loving and beautiful a queer family can be, rather than the sexual rebellious depiction in some previous media. Feige said the relationship was always sort of inherent in the story, and he felt it was extremely well done in the film, while Sleeman said it was a thoughtful depiction. Eternals is set around 8 months after the events of Avengers Endgame, and addresses why the Eternals did not interfere in any past conflicts in the MCU. Both Feige and Moore said the film would have major ripple effects on the future of the MCU, and at times it was a challenge to balance the grounded nature of the MCU with the mythic grandeur of the Eternals property. And now on to the filming. By the film's official announcement in July 2019, principal photography had begun at Pinewood Studios at Buckinghamshire, England. Ben Davis served as director of photography after doing so in several previous MCU films. Zhao said Marvel Studios allowed her creative freedom to shoot the film on location exactly the way she wanted to shoot it. She was able to use a similar style to previous films, including 360-degree shots and working with the same camera and rigs as were used for a film Nomadland, which Zhao was set to complete back-to-back with the Eternals. Zhao felt that she got lucky and that Marvel wants to take risks and do something different. Zhao cited The Revenant as a primary influence when composing the film's action sequences. Gemma Chan and Barry Keoghan were in talks to join the cast in August 2019. Chan previously portrayed Minerva in Captain Marvel, but reports noted that she was potentially being looked at by Marvel to play a separate character in this film. Since Minerva dies in that film, Chan had felt that it was unlikely she would return to the MCU. After working on the film, she was told by Feige that the studio wanted to make better use of her in a future project. This led Chan to audition for Cersei, one of the last actresses to be considered for the role. Chan later scripted Cersei as the most difficult role for the film to cast. Chan and Keoghan were confirmed to be cast in the film at the D23 Expo in August, and the roles of Cersei and Druig respectively, along with Kit Harington as Dane Whitman. Chan said she and Marvel Studios were surprised by how soon after Captain Marvel her new MCU role came, with both assuming that it would have been a project further in the future. Harish Patel was cast at the end of August as Karun, Kingo's manager. It filmed its role from September 2019 until January 2020. By early November, filming took place in the Canary Islands. The filming cast and crew, including Julia Madden, had to be evacuated from a shooting location on the island of Fuerteventura when an explosive device was found there. The device was thought to be a remnant armament from a Nazi base. Later that month, Zayn al-Rifa joined the cast. In early January 2020, filming took place outside the Oxford University Museum of Natural History in Oxford, England, as well as Hampstead Heath and in Camden in London, under the working title Sack Lunch. Chan said the filming process felt very different from what she experienced on Captain Marvel, explaining that Eternals shot more location and utilized natural light, while Captain Marvel had more studio work and blue screen. Filming wrapped on February 4th, 2020. And now finally on to the post-production. In March 2020, Scanline VFX, one of the companies working on the film's visual effects, confirmed that they will be working remotely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Industrial Light and Magic, Luma Pictures, Rise, and Weta Digital also worked on the film's visual effects. In early April, Disney shifted much of their Phase 4 slate of films due to the pandemic, moving the Eternals release date to February 12, 2021. In August, the film's title was officially shortened from The Eternals to Eternals, and the next month, the release date was pushed back to November 5, 2021. Reshoots had taken place by mid-November 2020. In January 2021, Zhao revealed that she was also a writer on the film, with Patrick Burley soon revealed to have worked on the script as well. Additional filming occurred in Los Angeles in early February, also under the working title Sack Lunch. Dylan Ticknor and Craig Wood served as co-editors of the film. Ticknor said Zhao usually edits her own films and has strong opinions, but on Eternal she was relying on Ticknor and Wood due to the size of the production and the ongoing award season for Nomadland. Ticknor added that Zhao respected the pair's editing experience and point of view, and they made their first cut of the film without much input from her. They began adjusting the film based on Zhao's feedback, and were still working on the editing in April 2021. At the end of the month, Zhao said the editing for the film was in its final stretch, and Joshua St. John was revealed to appear in the film after previously starring in Zhao's film Songs My Brothers Taught Me. At the end of May 2021, with the release of the first teaser trailer and poster for the film, the official writing credits were revealed. Zhao was credited as a screenwriter, both as a solo contributor and as a part of the writing team with Burley, while Ryan and Kaz Furpo received story credit. Additionally, Gil Birmingham was revealed to have been cast in the film, although he was absent in the final film. Aww. In July 2021, Writers Guild of America West presented the film's final writing credits, writing Ryan and Kaz Furpo's screenplay credit along with Zhao and the team of Zhao and Burley, in addition to their story credit. Moore believed the studio had bit off as much as we could chew with the film, creating one that felt urgent and present and had a fast pace, but also took time to reflect back over the centuries. At the film's world premiere, Match Only Variety tweeted Harry Styles made an appearance in a post-credits scene as Eros, Thanos' brother in the comics, which is not shown in early press screenings of the film. Styles later revealed that she kept tabs on Styles since his appearance in Dunkirk, believing that he makes me think of Eros as a character. WWE wrestler Becky Lynch had a role in the film planned for a post-credits scene that was intended to set up a future project. The scene was removed for being reportedly too depressing. Huh. Okay then. So overall, I really do like this film, and I just understand why some people don't like it as much. But to be honest, I think it's just fine. It's a pretty good movie, and I like it. So yeah. So overall, I give Eternals 3 Captain America shields out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in next week on Friday so we take a look at the next film in Phase 4, Spider-Man No Way Home. So until then, in the words of the late great Stan Lee, Excelsior!